Hi, I'm Travis Daggett with Cornerstone Properties, talking today about purchasing a home without going out and getting a mortgage or a loan for the house. So the typical or traditional way that people purchase homes is to get a loan from a bank. And of course, there's conventional loans that people are normally familiar with, where you would put down a 20% down payment and you'd finance the rest at whatever the interest rate is, and typically for 30 years. And you can do that through all kinds of lenders. The big three ones are Chase, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America. So that's the traditional standard way of purchasing a home. Now, there are occasions or circumstances where that might not be the best option for people, or they just simply can't do that. So often there's a situation in somebody's credit history, a big one, of course, is bankruptcy, that would prevent someone from being able to get a loan. There could be all kinds of other things that lower somebody's credit score and they're not able to get a loan for a house. But that doesn't mean that somebody can't still purchase a house. So one of the ways that people do that is what's called a lease option. What that means is, then let's just use real numbers because it makes it easier to understand. Let's say that you're going to buy a house for $150,000. You're not able to get a conventional loan, or you're not able to qualify for a loan. So you find a house that's $150,000, and through discussion with the owner, the seller, or just because they actually offer this, you have the opportunity to do a lease option. So what that means is you're going to pay a certain amount of rent, and you'd pay that whether you're doing a lease option or just a lease. Let's say that the rent would be $1,000 a month. So maybe for a lease option, you pay a little bit more, $1,100, $1,200 a month, and some of that money could or could not, depending on what you and the seller decide, go toward the purchase of the house. But the key is that you decide up front and you enter an agreement with the seller, the owner, for the purchase price. So in this case, we'd say $150,000. Then there's a term of the option to when it expires. And let's just say it's 2 years. So what that means is you start out with often an option deposit, and again, that's negotiable. It could be as high as 20%, it could be 10%, 5%, whatever you agree on. And then at the end of that 2 years, you have the option to purchase the property for that $150,000. Now, the property may have gone up in value, the property may have gone down in value. So there's a risk there. Now, typically you're going to have more of an owner mindset with a lease option. So you may do improvements on the property that you wouldn't do if you were just a renter. Hopefully you're going to take care of it as if it's your own home, and most likely the seller is going to think along those terms and hope as well. So that's one way to purchase a property. Now, of course, again, in those 2 years, you need to be cleaning up your credit, and you can work with a mortgage advisor or even a credit counselor to do that. That's the idea there, to clean up your credit, and so that you could qualify at the end of that option period. Now, if you don't, again, you have the option to, or the choice to extend it and do another option period, or go a different direction. Another way to purchase a property without getting a loan is by assuming a mortgage. Now, some mortgages are assumable, some aren't. And what that means is if I'm purchasing a house, and let's say it's a loan at 4% over 30 years, so it's a great rate, and instead of me going out and getting a loan, why don't I just assume or take over that loan? So it goes from being in their name to my name. Often I don't have to qualify like I would for a new loan. Some loans, again, are assumable and some aren't, so sometimes that's an option. One of the ways we purchase homes oftentimes is purchasing it subject to the existing mortgage. What that means is we'll buy a home, we'll leave the mortgage in place, we'll take over the payments for a period of time. Typically we do it for a year. So we just agree that we're going to make those mortgage payments for a year. That way we don't need to go get a loan for the whole purchase price. All we're paying is the difference, if any, in equity. We're paying for the renovation if we're doing that. And we'll even escrow the payments. We can escrow the taxes, of course, get insurance. We can escrow the renovation monies so that we're showing the owner that we're doing the renovations, we're putting money into the house. And we've never done this. We've never not made a payment. But if we did, of course, then the owner could come back and take over the property, and they would get an improved property in addition to the down payment that we made. So that would help protect them. So those are just a few options that you have to purchase a house without going out and getting a traditional mortgage. So if you have any questions about that, or you have a house that you'd like to sell, please give us a call, email us, fill out the form on our website anytime. This is Travis Daggett with Cornerstone Properties, and have a great Christmas.